Folks, is your realtor also your mortgage agent? Let's talk about that and then get into the latest home prices and insights for the Peel and Durham region for week ending January the 10th, 2024. Lots of you have subscribed recently. Thank you for that. But many of you watch every single week and you've not yet subscribed. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and the bell button. This way you're reminded when these videos come up. So, have you been in that situation where you're buying a house and the person you hired as your real estate agent is also a licensed mortgage agent, and they tell you, hey, I can help you buy, and don't worry, I can also help you get your mortgage. Look, sales over the last few years are way down. So there are many realtors not making enough money in the real estate business, and so they've got part-time jobs. There's more part-time realtors today than ever before. I don't want this discussion to be about part-time realtors because I have my own separate opinion on that. But let's just talk about the realtor that is also a mortgage broker. It just rubs me the wrong way. First of all, as a realtor, I work at it full time. I don't have time to take on another profession. And the other profession being a mortgage agent, I call the person I refer for mortgages to my clients, he's got no time to do anything else. If I said, hey, why don't you help me sell homes, get your real estate license to my mortgage broker? He's like, when? When would I do that? He'll say, Santo, when should I help with that? Should I maybe squeeze it in between 2 o'clock in the morning and 5 o'clock in the morning? Each of these professions, if they're done properly, they are full-time jobs, more than full-time jobs. We're working as a realtor, we work 7 days a week. We're always, in a sense, on call. I don't understand how somebody could be a realtor and a mortgage agent at the same time. Maybe what bugs me the most about this, and I'd really love your comments if you've experienced this, but the person that's getting you the mortgage, in other words, they're filling out the paperwork, they're guiding you through the mortgage application and submitting it to the bank and getting all this money in a loan for you, hundreds of thousands of dollars in loan. They're also the ones helping you spend it. That's what bugs me the most. There's an obvious conflict of interest, and yet somehow it's allowed. I don't understand that. If you've experienced this, if you've been out house hunting with your realtor and your realtor says, oh, by the way, I can also get you your mortgage, I'm curious to know how you felt about that and what your experience was about that, because in my opinion, the situations I've had where I've spoken with clients that have been through that, it has been a little dodgy. It has been a little bit uncomfortable. And sometimes it's been a complete, straightforward conflict of interest. It's been in your face, a conflict of interest. It doesn't make sense. So personally, my opinion, I'd be careful for that. For a realtor that also is the one getting you your mortgage, let me know your comments below, your experiences with that. If you think this video can help somebody you know, please pass it along. If you get value from what we're talking about, subscribe. And if you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, it's really, really easy to reach me. Up here, there's a link to my calendar. In the description below this video, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that. Book a day and a time that's convenient for you. I'll see that ahead of time and I'll make sure I'm available to talk about whatever's on your mind. Now, let's get into the numbers. Folks, this report is for week ending January the 10th, our first full week of the new year. We're seeing from working with sellers and buyers, the real estate is starting to pick up. We're seeing more buyers out there. more showings. We don't know if it's going to last, but right now, the first full week, we're seeing a difference from what we saw going, even when we look back at December. It just seems a bit more enthusiasm towards real estate right now. Here's a quick summary. This is for detached properties only, average sold price. I've got up top, Markham, Vaughan, Richmond Hill. Normally, I'd say Toronto is next because it's almost always in the middle. This 1 week, Mississauga actually has a higher average sold price than the city of Toronto. So we got Mississauga, Toronto, Durham, and Brampton. What we are focusing on in this video is the Brampton, Durham, and the Mississauga numbers for real estate. We're going to start off with Mississauga here. Average sold price, detached properties, 22 detached properties were sold. 2 of those were at $2 million or more. And I'm kind of looking at this, and I've got arrows. You might think I've got some sort of a mathematical or science project going on, but I'm looking at average sold price, and the biggest part of what I'm doing here is not so much what are the weekly numbers, but it's more of what's the trend. And over the last few weeks, the holiday season, don't take those numbers so seriously just because of the time that we're in and the sampling that we have. But I'm going back to October and September, and I kind of see 2 scenarios. If we say that what happened down here this time, those numbers probably are not so accurate, then prices are kind of flat because they've kind of come back to where we were prior to October. But if we say those numbers where we took a drop, but prices have been going back up, then we can say prices have been trending. The next few weeks are going to tell me whether, yeah, this is where we are, we're kind of flat, or prices are trending up. But it's really tough to kind of look at it right now and say which way we're going for Mississauga. If I look to what happened last year, at this time of the year, prices shot up. They were trending up higher and higher and higher. Is last year an indication of what's going to happen this year? That would mean that I'm predicting the future. I or nobody can tell you exactly what's going to happen. But sometimes there are seasonal activity that happens every year, somewhat. But let's see what happens. So compared to last year, 1439 is 21% higher than where the average sold price was this time a year ago. The median price is 5% higher than where we were this time a year ago. Of the 22 that sold, well, we're outselling by a lot what we were selling this time last year. None of those 22 sold at list price or more. 41 were listed. Now, the prior week, we listed 26. We're now listing 41 detached properties. We do expect listings to continue to climb as we eventually pull out of winter. I know we just started winter, but as the months go on, we will expect to see more listings. Months of inventory has come way down. We're sitting at 3.1 months of inventory. Holiday season was here. Prior to the holiday season, for the end of October, November, December, we were sitting pretty much in the mid-4s to high-4 months of inventory, which takes us to the top end of a balanced market. If not, in some areas, we were into a buyer's market. But 3.1 is quite low for what we've been used to seeing the last quarter. Here's Brampton. 50 detached properties were sold. So we almost doubled in sales from the previous week. So 50 detached properties were sold. None of those were at $2 million or more. Average sold price shot up from the previous week to $1,129,000. And it's pretty clear that prices have been trending down for Brampton. Compared to last year, 1,129 is 2% lower than last year's average sold price. The median price is 2% higher than last year's median price. The dotted line is a 4-week moving average, and if we kind of go back a month, month and a half, prices have been trending down. It's this part here in the middle, these last, December 13, 20, 27, January, right in here, that it's really tough to take those numbers as a true indication of what the market is doing just because it's the holiday season. And still, for week ending January 10th, the first full week, it's still a bit of a, a gray area as far as, is this really what our market is about? 50 were sold, 20% of those sold at list price or more. 20% is 10. 10 properties sold at list price or more. 63 were listed. So 63 new detached listings and months of inventory. Wow, 1.7 came way down. But we went from in the 20s being sold all the way to 50. Well, that now the algorithm or the calculations are basically based on if we sold 50 and we sell 50 every single week, how quickly we're going to go through the stock, the listings. Well, that calculation is telling us that we have 1.7 months of inventory. It feels really, really low. Prior to the holiday season, we were sitting in a balanced market, high 4s, 5s. So I don't think that's a true indication of where we're supposed to be, but it is what the numbers show. The next few weeks, that'll balance itself out. Here is Pickering, Ajax, and Whitby. This is what I'm using for the Durham sample. Week ending January the 10th, 2024, 21 detached properties were sold. No properties sold at $2 million or more. Average sold price. I mean, these numbers are not making it easy for me to explain it to you here, but average sold price of those 21 that sold, $1,253,000. Those of you living in Pickering, Ajax, or Whitby, do not run out and think your property is worth so much more from one week to the next. It's not the case. It's an average price of the 21 that sold. There just happened to be a lot of properties selling under $2 million, so there's none that sold over, but selling in the higher price point. Compared to last year, hey, it's 16% higher than where the average sold price was a year ago. The median price is 11% higher than where the median price was a year ago. 21, we said, were sold. 24% of those sold at list price or more, which is 5. 5 of those sold at list price or more. Listings went from 18 listings to 41 listings, and months of inventory sitting at 2.3 months of inventory. And it's kind of in line to where we were prior to going into the holiday season. Here's a quick summary of months of inventory. I would still say these are quite low. I've put condos for Peel Region to kind of give you a comparison as to what condos are doing, but this shows really about the detached market here. And these months of inventory are quite low. I don't think that's really where the market is at, but over the next few weeks, it'll balance itself out and we'll get a true reflection of where we're really at months of inventory wise. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day.